All right, good afternoon. I got the green light to proceed. I'm Randy File. I'm one of the county commissioners, and I want to welcome you to the...
Sorry. You advance the slides.
Oh. I'm ahead of myself, as usual. I want to welcome you to this America 250 planning session, and also thank the Adams County Historical Society for hosting us today. You know, this is a great cross-section of the community here. When I pulled in the parking lot, I was sort of blown away by the amount of cars, and you know, all along, we wanted this to be a community county event. And from the looks of things in this room, that is exactly what is happening and what's going to happen. As we all know, the America 250 is very important, not only to the nation, but it's important to our community as well, both recognizing the role that history played in our nation that played out in this community, and also very important for our economic well-being going forward. It's a great opportunity, and we need to grasp that opportunity. I'm just going to go off the line here for a second, and on a side note, I want to let you know that next week, January 22nd, is Adams County's 225th anniversary. How about that? And to honor and recognize that, we happen to have a public commissioners meeting in the historic courtroom next Wednesday, and the Historical Society and our official Adams County historian, Tim Smith, will make a 10-15 minute presentation on the history of Adams County and also have some interesting artifacts there. So if in fact you've never been in the beautiful historic courtroom, I invite you to attend, and also I'm sure hear a very interesting presentation on the Adams County's 225th. Sherry reminded me that it's actually been 3 years since we first met as a group in February 2022 at the Ag Center. And at that time, there were some committees formed, and you know, they've been working diligently with locally and with the state commission in order to move this forward. And back then, as I said at the beginning, I was insistent that this be a community-wide event where, you know, any entity or municipality or organization who wanted to be involved, they would have the opportunity to do so. And again, from the amount of people in this room who come from various walks of the county and community, I think that's going to happen. So I just want to, you know, conclude this by saying this is a great opportunity to come together and create an end product that will both benefit and bring recognition to Adams County. And I think we're all in for that, and we certainly have the foundation. We have the foundation here in Adams County to make that happen. So at this point, I've been charged with introducing our chair. I want to introduce Carl Whitehill, who most of us know, the Vice President of Destination Gettysburg and the chair of our local commission. And Carl, incidentally, it took a while, but thank you for accepting that responsibility. We all appreciate that. So with that, Carl Whitehill.
Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
I want to first thank everybody in this room. This is quite a turnout, and we've been waiting a long time. We'll get into that to get us to this point here, but I want to thank the Randy and Marty and Jim. The three commissioners here have just been quite a support to this effort, and they've really had our backs throughout this whole process. Really appreciate it. You'll hear from a lot of people today that are part of our steering commission. And a couple people you won't hear is Sherry. She is with director of the Adams County Planning Office, and just absolutely just a workhorse in this whole effort. And so you won't see her up here today, but she's really been behind a lot of this. I also wanted to thank, I think we have Elizabeth Farley with Congressman Joyce's office here today, and Torrin Ecker, our state representative. Want to thank them. There are too many municipal officials in this room today to thank every single one of you individually, but there are a lot of you from all corners. We saw the sign-up sheet. Everywhere, every corner of Adams County, there's folks here. So thank you for being here. Our really big effort today is kind of bring everybody up to speed and then tell you how to get involved, because this is not our event, this is your event, and we really want everybody to kind of step into that and do what they feel is best to honor this really important anniversary. So where have we been, right? Randy said 3 years ago, we met actually at the Ag Center over there across the hill. And we had probably half as many people, maybe a little bit more than half. And Randy helped set the stage for what this anniversary was going to be. That was February 2022. And so, believe it or not, we're on the brink of that 3-year anniversary of that meeting now. And we haven't come back to the community, and that's our big effort here today. But we've been busy. The steering commission has been meeting regularly. First, we started meeting quarterly after that meeting, and then it was every other month, and now we're meeting monthly. And we're getting together and figuring out what this anniversary looks like, and really what role that Adams County played in this, and what role that each of you play into this. And that's something we really needed to figure out. At the same time, the state, the reason why we all met in 2022 is the state came through and was really trying to energize all the counties, get them on board, get them excited, and they did. And we first started meeting, and we going very fast, and we kind of pumped the brakes a little bit because we're still 4 years out at that point. And so here we are, we're on the brink of this. I think you'll learn today that we're closer than you think. And we really just want to update you. There's a lot that we have going on. We've been really busy working to get to this point. So the county set up a steering commission, and here are the 7 entities that are part of that. They are all in this room here today. You'll hear from a lot of them. And we really have been working hard, not just to create something for us. Again, it's for you, and to draw you into the equation. So good representation from a lot of nonprofit organizations, Destination Gettysburg, who I'm with, from the tourism standpoint, as well as county government, local government, and Gettysburg. All right, these were the objectives that were announced at that February 2022 meeting. And I'm not going to read them all, but you see there that we really tried to cover everything from doing something that was very homegrown here in the community to something that was really going to be of interest to our visitors and get a lot of economic development from this anniversary. At that meeting, a lot of comparisons were being drawn to the 150th of the Battle of Gettysburg in the Civil War in 2013, a whopping 12 years ago. But you'll see here as we talk today, there are similarities to that event, and there's also a lot of differences. One of them being that we are not the center of this big anniversary. Philadelphia, of course, will be, but we play a big part in that, and I hope you see that. We created a mission statement. I'm not going to read this either, but we took those goals, those objectives from that first meeting, and we created a mission statement here. We really want to make sure that this is hitting the visitors, it's hitting the local community, so that we all get excited. This is a chance for all of us to come together, get excited about the history right here in our own backyard. And every community across America is probably going to be doing that, but we have some really, really unique history. I'm going to actually introduce Andrew. I told him to stand next to me to remind me that he was here. He sat a little too far away. But the perfect segue to draw you in. We are here in the wonderful Beyond the Battle Museum run by the Historical Society. I've invited Andrew to come talk about some of that history that is really so special here in Adams County.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Nice to see so many familiar faces, and hope everybody had a chance to, if you haven't already seen our museum downstairs, we'd love to have you check it out before you leave today. We're really honored to be the home of this community's story. Until a few years ago, a lot of the history of Adams County was locked up in storage crates and in our old facility, which was deteriorating pretty rapidly. So it's just so nice to have, right behind me actually, our research room and archives is full of millions of documents and photographs and artifacts and stories, really, and including the stories of the people who were here during the American Revolution. Gettysburg's associated with the Civil War, obviously, but if you stop at our table in the corner before you leave today, we have some documents related to some of the soldiers from this area. Of course, it was York County at the time, but the soldiers who were from what is now Adams County, Pennsylvania, that went off to serve in the Revolution. Some of them did not return. Some were captured and taken prisoner. One of the soldiers who we highlight on the table was actually captured at the Battle of Long Island and held on board a British man of war in the New York harbor for years until he eventually was able to return, having little food or other nutrition over that period of time. So the story of our community on a local level is very much connected to the Revolutionary War in that era. But of course, it's connected through Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. The first words spoken out of Lincoln's mouth on Cemetery Hill were 77 years ago, directly linking Gettysburg with our founding and with our the ideals of the men and women who were part of shaping the United States. So I just wanted to talk briefly about a couple things that the Historical Society is doing to commemorate this important anniversary. We're also really thrilled to have the opportunity to reach out and work with more of you to design events and initiatives that get people excited about Gettysburg and connecting our community with the broader commemoration of the 250th. You may have heard we recently acquired the Shriver House Museum in downtown Gettysburg, so we're going to be expanding our efforts to promote local history into the borough. We're really excited to continue the legacy of Del and Nancy Goodmestead, who have done such a phenomenal job of bringing civilian stories to life. That story also ties back to the Revolution. The Shriver family lived in Adams County during that period, and there's many layers to that story. We're also working, we haven't announced it yet, but we're working on establishing a Black History Museum with the Lincoln Cemetery Project Association on South Washington Street in downtown Gettysburg. So that's a project we'll have more to say about later this year, and we're hoping we can get that thing up and running at some point, during the 250th commemoration in 26, maybe 27, but that's on the horizon. We're also very thrilled and honored to be leading the charge with the Gettysburg Film Festival, which has become an annual event with Ken Burns, and that'll be returning May 8th through the 11th of 2025. Focused this year on the end of World War II. It actually coincides directly with the 80th anniversary of VE Day. But the following year in 2026, we're hopeful, we haven't finalized the dates or the content yet, but we're hopeful that we can do a film festival celebrating great films and television related to the American Revolution and the founding. And that's something that we've been talking with Ken Burns and his team about. They are actually getting ready to release their series on the American Revolution, which will come out, I think, in November. I think the announcement was just made. But that's something we're following closely, and we really want to tie Gettysburg to it. When Ken was here, he actually mentioned to us that there's a map sequence in the new Revolution series that's coming out, and it shows the colonial forces marching toward Philadelphia, and prominently labeled as the Geddes Tavern on the map. So even Ken appreciates the connection with, even though we have a small connection in terms of what was here at the time. The Geddes Tavern sat right where the Racehorse Alley, near the Racehorse Alley parking garage in downtown Gettysburg, and was a prominent location. Randy stole my fire a little bit with the 225th, but we have next week, a week from today. Thank you for mentioning it. We're going to have free admission for all county residents here at the museum. Also some screenings of Adams County, USA, Jake Borett's wonderful film. So we hope you can join us for that. But just linking it back to this important anniversary, in June of this year, that's really the beginning historically of our commemoration of the 250th. And that is because, and I believe June 17th or 18th, I should have written it down. There was a local organization at the Geddes Tavern where a couple dozen local men showed up, enlisted as a militia company, and marched to York, Pennsylvania to join the brand new Continental Army, which was, imminently involved in the fighting around Boston. And some of our local men ended up with General Washington's army in the coming months. Of course, it took many weeks just to get to where this was all happening. But our local, Scotch, Irish, and German predominantly, immigrant settlers decided that they were going to get together and march off to war, and that happened not in 1776 but in 1775 at the meeting place of the Geddes Tavern, which is now near the intersection that is the square of Gettysburg. And Gettysburg was founded just 10 years, 1786, after 1776, this 250th. So there's just a lot happening in this period of time, but I am so excited about the opportunity to work with all of you to bring more people to Gettysburg, make them aware of the link that we have to the founding. And we have many exciting events and initiatives planned, and we'll be releasing those as we develop everything. But I'm proud that we're involved with this commission, really proud of the leadership of Carl and Destination Gettysburg to get everybody together, and the website that you're going to hear more about, where we're going to have a lot of things organized for you so that you can see what's happening and contribute yourselves. So it's a privilege to welcome you all here today, and I'll let Carl take the mic back and continue the program.
Thank you, Andrew, and sorry I skipped over you earlier, but really the local history is something that Andrew and his team and some other volunteer organizations are working hard to pull together. Some of it we haven't heard before, and so it's really exciting to see that unearthed. So obviously this is America's 250th, and we're very blessed to have a few national connections with that. Some are more prominent than others, and here's a couple obvious ones. We've said for a long time that democracy was saved in Gettysburg, even though it was born in Philadelphia. So why that's important to us is that it links us to what's going on in Philadelphia, and it finishes the story. So folks that are going to Philadelphia to be part of things really can see the rest of the story here. And of course, Andrew alluded Lincoln's Gettysburg Address with the 77 years ago, referring right back to 1776. We really believe that you can't tell the story of America without Gettysburg. It's impossible, right? And so one of our missions as we go through this anniversary and we talk with reporters, we market the message, is really making this larger than a Revolutionary War and more about America's 250 years of history. And that's where we fall in the strongest, although Andrew has dug up an immense amount of Revolutionary War history that's just very interesting that we will be putting out there in big numbers. But we really feel like we need to tell the story in a bigger way than just 1776 here in Adams County. These are some of our stories. Of course, the Revolutionary War, Battle of Gettysburg, Gettysburg Address, Dwight Eisenhower. What a connection here between Gettysburg and the rest of the country. And America's Orchard, that's something that the county is extremely proud of. Our apples are feeding Americans all over, and it's great to bring up not only what that is today, but what that was and where and how all that was came to be. It's a credible source of pride for us in Adams County. We want to make sure that we mark that as well. And then the local history. And this is not just Revolutionary War history. It's not just Gettysburg's history. It's history in Biglerville, Littlestown, New Oxford, McSherrystown, Cashtown, everywhere. And that's what we really want to bring to light here. And everything in between. There are so many things that we can bring to light here and to celebrate here for our local residents as well as visitors who come here. It's obvious most visitors are coming here for the Civil War history, but we can broaden that and really get them engaged with our other part of our history. And you know, our county is America's history. The history that we have here, sometimes it really had a major effect on our national history, and we are obviously part of America. So that's how we're looking at this, is that our history is America's history. Here's our plan. We are going to be kicking off about a year from now. We don't have an exact date yet. And launching a year-long commemoration. And the reason we're doing that, part of the effort that we wrestled with forever, what does this look like time-wise, back to the 150th of the Battle of Gettysburg, that was a 10-day commemoration that we ended up broadening a little bit. But the state of Pennsylvania is actually launching the state commemoration for America 250th in January of next year. So we thought that would be a perfect time for Adams County to launch. And it also gives us a wide range of opportunities, not just in July, not just in November, but all year round, we can welcome events into this commemoration. Hundreds of events. We'll get more on that later, and we'll let you know too how you can be part of that and make that happen for us. But we really see this as a great opportunity to have events throughout the year. Some are going to be big, some are going to be small, some are going to be new, some are going to be ones that we are used to having here. And we really want to brand them, market them as America 250th. As long as they are, Charles Gable, who chairs our marketing, or our event subcommittee rather, he'll go into a little bit more detail on what that looks like, but we really want to get as many events as we can into the mix. And collect an abundance of stories. And again, this is largely Historical Society's effort, along with some other historical societies around the county here. But we really want to get all these stories put together so that we can get excited about our local history as well as our national history. Here's what we know now. We will kick off again January 26th with America 250th. We know there's going to be a Gettysburg Film Festival that year, focusing, right, Andrew, on the Revolutionary War. We know that there's going to be a Battle of the Anniversary and a reenactment to go with it. And we know there's 4th of July celebration. We know that thanks to Wendy Allen and Lincoln Fellowship and the National Park Service, Chris Gwynn, that they announced plans this last November to put on a recreation of the Gettysburg Address on November 18th and 19th. Very big event, very ambitious, and very exciting for Adams County for sure. Here's other things we're working on. The Gettysburg Garden Club got really excited about this America 250th, and really hope that kind of overflows into some excitement that you can build with this too. They want to just completely beautify Gettysburg and to brand it with America 250th, flags, banners, and just really celebrate this and make sure people know that we are commemorating this important anniversary. And for them to come to our meeting, they got us so excited about this, and that's exactly what we want to see across the county. We are in the beginning stages of trying to work with some of our Pennsylvania partners across the southern tier of Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia, Valley Forge, Gettysburg, Flight 93, and Pittsburgh, to try to generate a trail where people can get out of Philadelphia for a little bit and see the rest of Pennsylvania. And of course, that benefits Adams County in a very big way too. And the Adams County Arts Council is working on a mural project. It's part of the 250th. Here are some other possibilities. I think our folks with the bicycle race are in here somewhere, aren't they? Maybe not. There's plans for a Tour of Freedom bicycle race, which would be right here in Gettysburg. And then the Adams County Economic Alliance came forward, Brady, with this amazing idea to really tout the industry here and to make sure that we all know all these different companies and their history and what's made here in Adams County. And I thought that was a brilliant way to help us mark the 250th as well. All right, tours and marketing. This is my specialty. We believe that this is America 250th has a big opportunity to bring in visitors, not just in 2026, not just in July 2026, but over the next couple years. And our work on this has started back in 23, meeting with journalists, talking about the 250th, getting some marketing out there. We've done that in the UK market. We've done that around the region just to really get on the radar of media, try to get it on the radar of visitors, that we are a big part of this commemoration, that it's not just Philadelphia. But if you don't know what's going on in Philadelphia in July of 2026, there's a lot. First off, it's, of course, the America 250th, and I think the last I heard, they're celebrating with about a 3-week commemoration, ending with a lot of fireworks on the 4th of July and a big concert. So I went to a conference convention actually in Philadelphia in September, and Philadelphia, New York, and Charleston, South Carolina were all up on the panel to share what they were doing, and not one of those destinations was willing to share too much of what they had planned. I was ready to take notes because I was really excited to see what others were doing. But in addition to America 250th, they're also hosting the World Cup at the exact same time. Somebody told me that there's actually a match on the 4th of July in Philadelphia, so it's going to be busy. We'll see how that can work to our advantage. Having all those visitors in, whether it's America 250th or the World Cup, is something we're ready to leverage. And from a tourism marketing standpoint, it's going to be really expensive to market in Philadelphia in 2026. But we've actually already started buying ads. We've got cars that we're wrapping to drive around all these events for July 2026 to get folks to understand that Gettysburg is a part of this as well. Our marketing is really all about that, what I was saying, the story of America cannot be told without Gettysburg. And we're really proud of that. And we really want to hit that home that this is a much broader anniversary than just 1776. Where are we marketing? Globally, we are absolutely talking to people around the world. I talk to a lot of journalists in my work from other countries, and they have been asking about this far ahead of Americans. And so they are well aware that this is a big anniversary. And that's meaningful because a lot of them are from countries that are much older than America, but they really see the big impact that this anniversary can have on America, and they're excited to do that. We are going to be continuing to work with journalists over the next couple of years, bringing some of them in to see for themselves. We've got plans to bring in much more local domestic media. Our target audience is typically 300 miles for what we do at Destination Gettysburg, but we're broadening this out much more than that for this America 250th, and really getting on the radar of a lot of folks. We're doing that in the sense of group market as well, students, other groups that come here on Motor Coach. We really want to make sure that they're aware of this too, start planning trips as well. All right, so I mentioned America 250th PA briefly, and a lot of our work is in conjunction with them, but not all of it. And we made a decision as a steering commission to do what we needed to do here in Adams County and to work with the state as it made sense for us. And so we know that Adams County is really good at planning events. We're really good at attracting a lot of visitors. So we're full steam ahead here in Adams County, and but we do work with the state in very big ways. Their efforts began in 2018, and they established a commission at the state level. And in 2021, they came here to Adams County. I still remember the meeting over at the Visitor Center where they came and energized Adams County and really let us know what this looked like to them. Their kind of acronym that they've been using is EPIC. And so they want to make sure that their anniversary, and we're tying into this as well, is about education, preservation, innovation, and celebration. And so, especially me coming from the tourism standpoint, I usually focus on the celebration part because we want to just get people here and get them to spend money, right? But there's also a lot of other things. And that's why we've got the partners we do at the commission level so that we have education, preservation in there. And innovation too. Innovation is a wide kind of definition in this case, but it could really mean anything you want it to in terms of projects that are being built. Jill mentioned here the opening of a Gettysburg Welcome Center. We have Marty and a lot of others working on broadband for this county, and some of that innovation that can be tied into America 250th and really advancing Adams County and all counties across Pennsylvania forward through this anniversary. All right, through America 250th PA, they have nonprofit affiliates, and we have, I think, 8 or 9 here, and it's $250 forever to be a nonprofit affiliate, and we would like to get more. So if you're part of a nonprofit group that wants to be part of this, that's great. If I missed you, I apologize. I went through the list twice and tried to carefully get everybody. If you want to know how to get on board as a nonprofit affiliate, you can see any of us that you see up here today. They also have municipal partners. If you don't see your name up here, but you think you are a municipal partner, let us know. If you want to be on board as a municipal partner, I think Charles Gable is a good person to talk to about that. We have pretty good representation here. All right, so events and programs. We have 4 or 5 subcommittees, 5, and events is the biggest effort in my mind. We have a lot of work to do. Charles Gable has assembled a strong committee to kind of carry these forward, but Charles is going to talk to you about what that looks like and what might be already in store.
Thank you, Carl. Before I start, I do want to I want to recognize our subcommittee for events because it is going to be a big effort moving forward. So Aaron Allman, Kirk Davis, and Norris Flowers, if you just stand up real quick and just wave to the folks. Could not do that do this without their efforts. And if they're able to stay, we'll be at the EPIC event table after the meeting this afternoon if you want to discuss on how you can get engaged with events moving forward. What are we talking about with events? And many of you in the room were here or were at the COG meeting a couple months ago where I introduced this idea. As Carl was saying, we want this to be an organic, Adams County driven event. So all of you in this room are going to drive what that looks like, whether that's a small event within your municipality or a larger effort that's countywide. We're open to all ideas. So the idea of some of these events, and there could be more, but on the screen here are listed speaker series, parades, picnics, carnivals, contests, athletic events, concerts, exhibitions. The two stars at the top are actually events that are already in the pipeline. I'll talk about that in the next slide. That the Reenactor Appreciation Weekend and the Film Festival are going to be officially sanctioned Adams County Commission, or not sponsored events, but promoted events. So when we get to talking about how your event can be recognized and promoted along with the overall programming of America 250, we can have that discussion. But there are already two, and I don't think Carl mentioned it, but the idea with this is to essentially build out a calendar of events, and it isn't kind of a written goal, but it would be kind of cool if we could have like 250 events for the 250th. 250 events in 1 year is a big task, but it's my understanding that was kind of what it looked like for the commemoration of the 150th. The only criteria essentially to be a sanctioned event, if you will, is it must fall within the moniker of education, preservation, innovation, and celebration. Very broad terms can be broadly defined however you decide to define them. The big target here, however, is it has to be accessible to everyone in the community in some form. So we can have those conversations individually with our committee once you submit what you think would be a good event to promote and celebrate our nation's founding. You can do that by going to this website. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a link where you can click submit, and it'll just take you seamlessly through the programming, and you can submit your event on the website through Destination Gettysburg. Also, you have QR codes at each of your place settings, and that will assist you to get to those locations as well. With that, I will exit and turn it over to Jill Sellers about community engagement.
Thanks, Charles. Good afternoon, everyone. Jill Sellers, President, Main Street, Gettysburg. Obviously, my backyard is the borough of Gettysburg in the Historic District, but we're thinking in a larger sense. Obviously, this is an Adams County effort, and so as I talk about some things, certainly we've been working on things like the Welcome Center, which falls under sort of innovation and celebration, I'm sure, at some point. But I'm hoping for the grand opening to either be, certainly before 2026, but that's an effort that we're working on. That's obviously a Gettysburg effort, but there are probably other infrastructure projects in other municipalities and places that really could be a great focus, that could be a target for 2026 if those things are there. And I encourage municipalities and communities to start thinking about those things and those new projects that have been on that have been on your radar and are ready to make that final leap. This would be a great target deadline for those things to really be celebrated. Some of those events that we're talking about for a list of 250 could be ribbon cuttings across Adams County for new facilities that are going to create opportunities for the citizens that live here, whether it's going to be things that are going to service the community, things through the schools, maybe things through organizations. So that's something to think about. Events that like Carl mentioned, events that have happened in the past that have become staples. Certainly our Christmas festival will probably be something, even bigger in 2026, but the reenactment of the battle, certainly 4th of July and all the things in between, as Carl mentioned, but other things that we're hoping for Main Street to bring back the long dinner that hasn't, that happened once before COVID, and we hope to be able to bring that back, in the next couple of years, and I think it would be a great commemoration. But in thinking about that, I'm thinking of other places around the county that could celebrate with community picnics or other gatherings that would make opportunities to gather people and citizens so that they can celebrate their local history. So as we talk about, creating and going one further, walking tour projects and things. Main Street Gettysburg finished a walking tour project. We're going to be having a map that's going to come out for that project of Gettysburg and local history sites. But there may be opportunities to commemorate other locations of Revolutionary War history or other history throughout the county that really can highlight many places and really give our visitors and our residents, and I think that's really important, to focus on the people that live here, to really take this as an opportunity to appreciate where you live, and who established this place as it is, who we have to thank that went before us. And as we reach out to get people involved, this is the community engagement part. Is how do we want to reach out to getting involved? So nonprofit organizations, certainly, if you want to be an affiliate, let us know. But churches, community groups, and resident groups, we're looking across lots of different opportunities to engage anyone that has a great idea. We're not here, and anyone on the steering commission is not here to tell you how to do this. We don't own this. This belongs to the county. So I'm so glad to see so many faces here, so that we can really take this on together, and we're here to help as much as possible. So with that said, I'm going to introduce the next engagement committee, which is youth engagement, and Aaron Pierce and Jenna Smith.
Hi everyone, my name is Erin Pierce. I'm the representative on the steering commission from the Gettysburg Foundation. In case anybody doesn't know, we're the official philanthropic partner for the national parks here at Gettysburg. And my co-chair here.
Yeah, I'm Jenna Smith, and I am a historic preservation planner with the county.
So we are the co-chairs of what I'm going to call the newest committee, because we were only formed like a month and a half or 2 months ago, probably.
Something like that.
So we're still getting our feet underneath us, but we are the chairs of the youth committee. So out of curiosity, does anybody here remember the bicentennial celebration? Anybody wear a Uncle Sam costume their mom made in a parade, or Statue of Liberty or something? Did you get to go see the Freedom Train when it crisscrossed the country for 2 years? A couple of folks. Did anybody have to write an essay in school in the 3rd grade about what America means to you? Yes? All right, we got some of those. Did you get to travel to some historic city? Philadelphia, Boston, Colonial Williamsburg? Did you get to go to Disney World and see the Freedom Parade that they had for 2 years over the bicentennial? No, I missed out too. That's okay. But a lot of that was stuff that was geared towards families, kids, and students. So that's something that we really want to kind of instill in the kids across Adams County as well. Do you guys have kids in your life? Your own children, grandkids, coworkers, students? Anybody you see on a regular basis? Yes? Would you like to see them get excited and be part of this America 250 stuff? Yes, okay, great. Hopefully a little more energetic than we are today. That's what we think too. We're here to kind of get everybody engaged and find ways to get the kids of today, who we all know are a whole other generation, excited about being a part of this America 250 stuff. Like I said, since we're new, we're still finding our way with that. So we've got a couple of ideas that we've kind of got going right now. First thing is we want to approach the class of 2026. So those are all the juniors right now across all the school systems in Adams County. They are all going to be in their late 60s by the time America 300 rolls around. So I want you guys to think about that. We want to give them the opportunity to kind of facilitate a way for them to create their own legacy. When you graduate high school, usually you leave some kind of a class project or whatever. We want to help them find something bigger and better and more permanent to leave behind. We've got a couple of choices in town that the state has kind of been encouraging. They've got a program called Bells Across the State, where they have these fiberglass artist-designed replicas of the Liberty Bell that different communities can have placed in their towns if you fundraise enough for them to come here. 12,000 plus students in Adams County, $10,000 bell. I think that's something that is maybe doable. We've also got the bigger, better version, which is the bronze version replica of the semi-quincentennial bell, the Liberty Bell. Semi-quincentennial, that's a word everybody's going to have to know. We all learned sesquicentennial, now it's semi-quincentennial, okay? Learn that vocab word. We've also got a lot of organizations that we kind of want to approach in the schools and just all throughout town. Everything from our Future Farmers of America, talking about innovation in America's apple orchards here, to our scout troops, National Honor Society students, kids who either have to or want to do some volunteer hours, perhaps. If you've got a program that you need youthful, energetic kids who want to lift and carry stuff, maybe we can help you coordinate with some kids who are interested in volunteering for that. That's kind of where we're at the moment, looking basically for a way in to get to talk to the schools, to talk to these kids, and facilitate some of these conversations. As Jill said, and as everybody has said, we are here to help you and the community make this all happen. For that, we need some input on who exactly we should be talking to in the community. So if you've got kids in schools with that cool history teacher, or know anybody that we should be talking to with local scout organizations, Jenna and I are going to be over at the youth table after the presentation is done, and we'll look forward to chatting with you. So with that, we'll turn it back over to Carl.
Thank you. We found our two youngest steering commission members to lead the Youth Engagement Committee. It's a tall order, but I think that if we don't engage the youth, that is our failure, right? And so we need to do that, and there's so many ways that we can get them involved in this commemoration. And it's an important time in their life and something, that I think they'll remember for a long time. All right, here's the magic question, right? Everybody wants to know, is funding available? That is a to be determined answer, so not really a strong answer for you, but the state of Pennsylvania is really trying to understand what's happening in all 67 counties, and this is America 250th PA organization. They've reached out to us twice. We see that as a promising thing. One came directly from the governor's office to better understand what we had planned, some of our more stronger programs, projects, events that might take place. And they want to see what they need to do at a state level to fund these projects throughout the Commonwealth. They do have some grant programs, and we'll be following up with you on some of those that are specific for events. But we are waiting to see what happens at the state level with the funding. So we hope that some comes down through Adams County, and we're able to use that money to facilitate some of the programs, projects, and events that might take place. We are not likely to be able to fund everything and everybody's projects, but we'll be certainly back in touch with everybody throughout the community on what that looks like moving forward. So. All right, here's what's next. We are, again, moving 100 miles an hour at this point. Website build out. Right now, we've showed you the URL for a basic landing page that's been up there for about a year, and just to kind of give everybody an idea of who's behind the efforts, but we're really building that out. Destination Gettysburg is housing that page for a big reason, because we want people to be able to, if they don't live here and they're visiting, to be able to quickly click another tab and find a place to stay and find a place to eat and different things to plan out their trip. So we're happy to host that site. The website build out is going to go from 1 page to about 14 pages. I was really hoping to have that to you today to show you, but I didn't do that in time. It's going to have everything from local history to ways you can volunteer and how to get plugged in. And as Charles said, an event calendar that is rich with America 250th events specifically. Compilation of events. We're really going to be taking this effort today forward and just gathering as many of the events as we can. Again, get them on our calendar, help market those events, and recruit volunteers as part of Jill's effort to get everybody that wants to be engaged to get engaged. Judy Butterfield, thank you. She asked a question at COG a couple months ago. She said, well, if I'm not associated with any organization, how can I still help? And I'm so glad she asked that, because that really triggered us to understand that people do want to be part of this. And they may not have a direct affiliation, but we want to make sure that those folks get plugged in. We're going to have events and they might need volunteers. And we want to be able to be in a place that we can provide an event with some volunteers. People are willing to spend their Saturday helping out an event. And I really think we can put together a small army of volunteers throughout Adams County. Develop a America 250th newsletter. You saw the prompt when you signed up for this meeting for a newsletter. That newsletter has not been created yet, but our first one's going out in February. It's going to recap this meeting. It's going to tell you all the things you want to do, ways to get plugged in, things that are happening on our end as well. So we intend to send that out every other month, and that'll start in February. Plan launch with the state. We don't have a date yet. We don't know what their launch looks like. We know that the America 250th PA organization is going to go to 67 counties in a matter of a week and a half to officially launch in every county. So we want to plan that out. We want to see what we can do, if anything, to build around that and make that an event here. Increase our marketing. Destination Gettysburg has committed to $50,000 in 2025 to really get that marketing going for the America 250th. That coincides with the rest of our marketing dollars. And America 250th is front and center for my organization, Destination Gettysburg. It is our story for the next 2 years. And so if you were around for the 150th, you know what kind of energy we can build through the media, through marketing, and we did that, and we're going to do it again. Engage with the youth. That's really getting involved with the schools and the scouting organizations and different functions. And we already know we do really well with these groups. In fact, did I see somebody was camping out at the Daniel Lady Farm last weekend, Kirk?
What's that?
Somebody was camping out at the Lady Farm last weekend, a scouting group. So we have committed youth, not just youth. So these folks want to come to Gettysburg and really immerse themselves in what we have here. And building our stories. I keep pointing back in the quarter to Andrew and the Historical Society, but just assembling this local history. The county put together some wonderful timeline of our local history, and these are the things you're going to start seeing very soon. All right, 250 events in 2026. It's going to happen, folks. Let me tell you. We can do this. It's going to take all of us to do it. And I think we can actually blow right through that. But it's really going to take an effort among all of us. And, when I add up the events that the National Park Service does, the Foundation does, the Historical Society does, the World War II Museum does, Seminary Ridge Museum does, there's a lot, right? And they're all history, and they're all our history, and they're the nation's history. So we hope to gather all those so that residents and visitors alike can attend these events. All right, now it's your turn. I'll do my best to field any questions, but I might have to call on one of my commission colleagues. Yeah, David.
Heard a lot about a lot of segments of the county. There's a lot of small businesses, 1, 2, 3, 5 members. Is there any plans to get them engaged beyond sending an envelope and asking for a check?
Yeah, we have not sent an envelope, but
No.
Right.
The small businesses get enough of them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we actually have several businesses here in the room today, and they're very much a part of that. In fact, the Dobbin House is also celebrating their 250th in the same year. So there are plenty of ways for businesses of all sorts. And again, I talked about the Economic Alliance wanting to put together a trail of some of that innovation and industry we have here. But there are so many things, big and small, big factories to small mom and pop businesses, and all around the county that we should be celebrating, because it's part of our heritage here that we've developed for sure. Other questions? Wow. You guys are easy on me. What's that? Yeah. Oh. Was there another one?
No, I said that's because you covered everything so well, Carl.
Okay, great. All right. Again, if you leave here with one thing, know that this is your commemoration. So I'm not saying there's, nothing's out of the question, but we're really looking to the community to give us what you have, your ideas, your energy, your events. If you have an idea you want to float past one of us, I think we have our email address right there. Send it to us. If it's something that you're really not sure if it's going to work, send it to us. We'll see what we can do. And while I don't have a question or an answer to the funding question, we can support events and different projects in various ways. We do hope to get a small army of volunteers. We have marketing materials. We can officially stamp you part of the America 250th. And I'm hoping that we can, with the permission from the state, that we can get permission to alter the logo so that it can say Bigelouville, New Oxford, McSherrystown, or Tana, not just Adams County. So you guys can localize this stuff as much as possible. If you're up in Bigelouville and you want to celebrate this with a picnic and fireworks and a big parade, that's great, and we want to be able to help you do that. One last thing. Thank you, Charles. We have 4 tables around the room. Match up with 4 committees that you heard from today. Erin is over there in the corner with the youth engagement. Next to her is Charles and the event committee. And then there's the community engagement in this back corner. And last but not least is local heritage. And they're the ones, again, they're really looking to compile all these stories. And Jackie White from the Dobbin House is a big part of that committee. She's actually brought some pretty cool things, including a colonial era rat trap. So if nothing else, you leave here knowing that this anniversary is yours and there's a rat trap over there. But enjoy that. And again, I'll be up here and the rest of our commission will be here if you have any questions. We intend to follow up with another meeting probably halfway through 2025 to make sure that we keep this energy going. So thank you.